This is the first time that I'm covering a Goosebumps book, the latest Goosebumps book, as it's currently out. That's right, I'm reviewing the most recent thing while it's still the most recent thing, which is very new for me in terms of my Goosebumps content creating journey, but enjoy it. It's a big milestone. And on top of that, you guys are getting back-to-back Goosebumps reviews, and hint, the third video that's going to come out after this will also be a Goosebumps review. So you guys are kind of getting the old Horrorlander vibe, but I don't know how long it's gonna last. I'm a mood reader. I also slowly shifted the camera this way because there's a bright glare going on, so I don't want you guys to get blinded. And on top of that, the book I'm talking about today is a pretty dark one. And if you guys didn't see the title, I'm gonna be talking about House of Shivers, The Last Sleepover. And I gotta say, man, off rip, this book has a top tier villain. The villain is extremely well written, has a nice backstory, is ruthless, is terrifying, is creepy, is scary, and definitely farming aura. Now, is the book exactly perfect? We'll talk about that upcoming in this review. For those of you who don't know, I am the Horrorlander. I cover a lot of horror content, whether it be adult horror, young adult horror, movies, books, comics, etc. But my channel was always founded on Goosebumps. So I'm always going back to Goosebumps here and then to kind of get back to my roots. And today I'm going to be talking about the new series, House of Shivers, with the book that came out, The Last Sleepover. So first I'm going to talk a little bit about the plot, and then I'll get into just my general thoughts, my positives, my negatives, and what's the overall rating for the book. So without further ado, no holding back, let's get into it. First of all, off rip, the cover is beautiful. I love this book cover. The Last Sleepover's cover is absolutely fantastic. You did a great job, Robert Ball. Probably one of my favorite Goosebumps book covers, period. I don't know exactly where it would rank, but it's definitely in the top tier alone. So this book's plot, without me giving too much away, it's basically about this brand new family which moves into this new house, which they are unaware is haunted. You have the main character, in a sense, who's Lily, and you have her older brother, Rory, and their parents. And they have a special house because it's outfitted with an AI, basically smart system, almost exactly like the Disney Channel original movie Smart House. And this is because the older brother Rory, who's in high school, is kind of a tech genius. He sets up a system called Alyssa, which is clearly a play on Alexa, and anything they ask for in terms of locking doors, opening windows, making food, cleaning up the house, they're basically able to do just with the voice recognition system to the AI. And essentially what happens is, as Lily invites over her best friend Megan to kind of go hang out with them a little bit, it's revealed to this family that the house is in fact haunted. And it's actually quite an infamous story all across the town because it involves a girl named Emma Lee. Not like Emily, by the way, it's Emma-Lee. I don't know why Stein decided to do that. It makes it very annoying when talking about it, but good villain, so you know what? I'll give it a pass. Emily was basically kind of a loser girl when it came to middle school. She was looked down upon, people did not respect her, and she had these group of friends or girls at school, kind of like mean girls, that she wanted to impress and be taken in and popular because she was never able to be socially adept, especially because her family grew up poor. So she kind of stood out from the rest of people just for her socioeconomic situation. And what ends up happening is that eventually her family agrees to let these 4 girls over for this sleepover party. It's going to be this great thing. Emma expects it's going to go very well. But unfortunately, these are some mean little bitches. And I know what you're all saying. Oh, BD, you can't call that little girl a bitch. Man, that ain't right. Man, fuck y'all. Fuck those little ass bitches, bro. They mean, bro. They're mean as shit. They bullied the hell out of Emily. They're making fun of her. They're making fun of her songs. They talk about her being poor. And they end up pranking her by taking like permanent marker and drawing over her face when she falls asleep and then cutting off her bangs. So of course, she has a valid crash out. She starts going after the girls, and then they end up locking her inside of a closet. But what they did not expect was this closet was in a type of Twilight Zone situation. It was some type of interdimensional portal, a rift in reality, where she ends up falling into this giant abyss of darkness. And when they end up opening up the closet to see where Emily went, she's not there. But they can hear her voice and they freak out. They run out of there. They don't bother telling the parents, so the parents have no idea what happened to their daughter. And when the parents go up to the kind of higher floor where her room is and start investigating, they can hear her calling out to them, her voice basically coming through the walls, coming from the closet, but they're not able to find her. And both sides end up getting stricken with grief. Emily has to basically figure out her life now because she's died. She's turned into a ghost. She's in this realm of the supernatural, a state of limbo, and unable to communicate with anybody around her. Meanwhile, her parents are so grief-stricken that they've lost their daughter and they don't know how they're going to get her back. And nobody else, including the girls that left, are willing to tell them anything. So they have to leave the house because they don't want to suffer any longer with the idea that they've gone crazy, schizophrenic, or their daughter has died. Meanwhile, Emily ends up getting stuck inside of this house for many years to come. That is until a brand new family moved in and pissed her off, because now her peace, her state of mind, her dominion has been violated. And let's just say she has some vengeance on the mind. This then results in the sibling duo of Lily and Rory kind of having to solve the mystery about how to find Emily, figure out what really went on with her, is she still lurking in the house, and how can they resolve this age-old problem. And Rory, matter of fact, is part of a ghost hunting crew that he founded in high school, so they're going to use some equipment and use some of their techniques to try to track down Emily and figure out this situation. But of course, it's not going to come easily. Things are going to go bad, as any Goosebumps book does, and Emily is quite ruthless, man. She's quite a tenacious villain, and she shows her colors, and it proves to the family that they're in some serious shit, and they got to figure out how they're going to dig out of it. And that's essentially the plot without me giving too much away. So now let's go into my positives, my negatives, and what was my overall rating and thoughts for this book. So the biggest positive off rip, I talked about it. Emily is a top-tier Goosebumps villain. She has a great backstory going into this whole urban legend behind how she died, what happened to her, why she's haunted, what's her infamous story. She's sympathetic, and the fact that she's this very sweet, innocent girl who ends up getting put into this horrible situation which is beyond her control, beyond her powers and capabilities, and she gets betrayed by a lot of people. She gets mistreated by society. Her parents, unfortunately, are forced to kind of betray her by leaving her behind, and now she's having a new family kind of ruin her peace and breaking her whole grief-stricken process. So it's really bittersweet and heartfelt in that regard. And not to mention, Emily is a creepy ghost, and she has capabilities. She has some savage methods on how to get revenge. She's very creepy. And me personally, as a horror fan, I'm looking for that. I am looking for villains in kids' horror that have actual threat levels to them. That's not to say that every villain needs a threat level. It's very rare to come to in terms of kids' horror. But when it does, it's going to shine out like a bright penny to me. And I loved it, man. I love the threat level in this book and the lengths that she's willing to go in terms of making sure that this family leaves. And I can get into a bit of that. And just to preface, again, I am a horror fan. I'm always looking for this stuff. One of my favorite authors, Tim Curran, who I always talk about in adult horror. The whole reason why I fell in love with that guy is because he consistently, 24/7 in all of his stories, is pumping out horrifying, scary, creepy, tenacious villains which have extreme threat level. And they be having me look like this while I'm reading the pages. I'm like, oh my, how malignant, how malevolent, how devious. Ooh, that's quite bloody. Oh, that's quite creepy, that's quite dark, I like that. Oh my. That's what I'm looking for right there. And I had the same thing happen in this book, because Emily is a creepy ghost. She has aura to her. She has this absolutely chilling, frozen mist kind of energy that comes through her. And it's not like she's playing with your mind where you might think that you're cold in a room, but you're not. No, she can actually go to like sub-zero chilling winds and freeze your body down almost as if you've been like dropped in a giant pool of ice cold frozen over water. Like if you sunk in a frozen lake, that's the sort of numbing sensation, freezing, frostbite kind of thing that she's able to do. And it's so powerful that even skeptics like the parents and other people are able to feel the sheer cold that's left behind on people who are basically in her proximity, which includes some of the children who are investigating the ghost thing. And on top of that, man, She is vicious. She tries manipulating the AI system, Alyssa, to try to have the stove burners go at full capacity and burn the curtains and light the house on fire. There's points in time where the best friend is looking out a window because she got tricked by some type of voice or command by the AI system, and then the window literally slams down at full force on the best friend's head, and she's stuck there and they're not able to pry it and move it, and they have to end up kind of pulling her through and cutting off her hair, which is messed up. You have points where, again, it's that cold, chilling energy. There's a scene where one of the characters is going down the stairs and the stairs become icy because, again, that cold aura seeps in when, Emily basically pops up, and they end up getting some poltergeist shit. They end up getting grabbed and basically thrown down the stairs. So Emily does not care. And there is a scene in the book which is more disgusting than a certain scene in the beginning of The Haunted Mask. You guys might know what I'm talking about. There's a gross out scene in the beginning of The Haunted Mask. There is an even more disgusting scene in this book, and it involves a creature which I don't have a phobia of, but I fucking hate them. They're so gross. I nearly threw up and yacked seeing that scene, and I was like, oh shit, she actually went there. They actually did that. Okay, R.L. Stine, I see you. And I almost vomited, man. It was disgusting. But it was a good type of gross out horror. I was like, damn, Stein is really going there with Emily. And I appreciate it because not only does she have that threat level, you get that backstory, her sympathetic backstory, her trauma. There's even a chapter which is written in a letter format. Now, it's not an actual letter. It's Emily basically thinking out a letter that she wants to send to her family because she feels that since she's in this purgatory limbo state, maybe she can do like telepathy and kind of reach out her thoughts to whoever's nearby. And she tells them, like, I forgive the girls who shoved me in the closet. They had no idea what was going on and what could have happened. I forgive my parents because they were grief-stricken for what happened to me. I died. I lost my body. I'm stuck here forever in this weird limbo afterlife state. But the family who moved in, knowing that this house was haunted, that it was my domain, that it was my sanctuary, oh no, I'm not going to let it fly. You see, we're going to get a little devious. We're going to get a little malignant. Ooh, a little malevolent. Ooh, a little villainous. And I like villainous, man. I really do. All the characters in the book are great as well. I pretty much like all the characters, whether it be Lily or Rory or the parents or all different types of friends like Veronica and all the other people there. Now, I do have to preface, there is one character who I didn't care for. But it's going to be spoilers, so I'm going to throw up a spoiler mark on the screen just so you guys know that, hey, it's spoilers. But let's get into it. So essentially, there is this very famous ghost hunter, ghost capturer kind of guy in the story called Morgan Strange. And he turns out to be something which I predicted. Something about him is not all that it seems. Not in the sense of you believe it, as in the sense of you should have not believed it. Okay, some fraudulence, I will say. And I predicted that, man. He had all the signs that he was bluffing, that he was fraudulent and that. So that didn't deduct my score. And the reason I bring it up in this minor spoiler section is because, people were kind of taking points off of that and kind of holding it against the book. And I get it, it's kind of pointless. It doesn't make much sense. It felt like filler. Why even go down that side plot? But I had all the signs that he was a fraud because he was so egotistical. He kept hyping himself up like, oh, no autographs. Usually people pay me for this, and that. And he's wearing like a stupid ass purple robe and doing all these weird ass eccentric things. And I was like, dude, this guy's going to be fake as hell because he's blowing smoke up his own ass every single second. So he's literally comically being set up to be a fraud. And what do you know? Turned out to be correct. So I didn't hold that against the book, but yeah, it was stupid, but I saw it from a mile away. Wasn't the biggest sin because, it was kind of obvious to me. The big thing also, which kind of detracts me from this book a little bit, and it's more prominent than the spoiler I went over, but one of the things that's a little goofy, and some parts of this book is a little goofy, is that so Rory is the older brother, and he has this ghost hunting club, and he's in high school, okay? He's a couple years older than the main character, who's 13. I think he's like 15 or 16. And he's the one with the ghost hunting club where all of his friends get up and they become ghost hunters with all their little devices and they believe in ghosts and all this stuff. So his younger sister in middle school is somehow more mature than him. It's a little goofy, it's a little childish, it's kind of over the top. Reminds me of like a Disney Channel movie or a Nickelodeon sitcom, buying into that goofy, eccentric stuff. And for some reason, he did not know that this house was haunted, even though the parents knew the house was haunted. The whole block, the suburb knows it's haunted. The realtor knows it's haunted. A girl at school who's like all science and biology based doesn't believe in anything. She knows that it's labored to be haunted, and a little bit kind of gives it a little bit of open wiggle room that it's probably true. So how come this guy, who's a leader of a ghost hunting club, did not know about that? That's like an insurance salesman talking to the Finding Bigfoot team, and he's like, oh yeah, you know, there's been Sasquatch in these part of the woods, and they're like, what, really? Sasquatch? Oh, we're just the Finding Bigfoot team, you know, we should know that, but well, gee willikers, insurance salesman. So that's a little much. It's like, you probably should have known about that, buddy. And the climax is rushed. I don't want to go too deep into it, but it was a little disappointing. The climax kind of halts all the momentum and goes into a more kumbaya kind of thing. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Which, considering how dark and sinister and deep the book goes, that was kind of annoying to me. I was like, you should have not done that. You could have just had anything else. But yeah, those are my weaknesses. I'd probably give it an 8.2 out of 10. It's a good book. Is it a great book? No, it had those things that were holding it back, but I enjoyed it. And I appreciate Stein going the extra mile with Emily. Because listen, man, if people are complaining about Emily or saying she's mid as a villain or all these things, and then they're going out there and being like, Lawn Gnomes is a great villain, Cuddles is a great villain.
What? Fifth.
What?
Jack, what do you mean what?
Who's the four ahead of Shaquille O'Neal? Have you lost your damn mind?
You good, man?
No.
No!
You need to shut the fuck up with that shit. That's all I got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Again, the book is officially out there in all bookstores. Go pick it up, go read it, go get it on Kindle. I read it on Kindle, shout out. So go give it a read. Let me know your thoughts down below. Have you read the new book? Are you looking forward to it? If you've already reviewed it or read it just for your free time to talk about other people with, feel free to comment down below your thoughts and opinions. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? And are you looking forward to the next book, which is going to be One Night at Camp Bigfoot, I believe is the title. And stay tuned for more content to come. Next video will also be a Goosebumps review, but not going to tease what book it is. And you know why? Because I don't know. I got to go pick one. So I got to get out of here. Deuces.
Arrivederci.